It's Monday. It's August 14th, 2023. I went out for a walk with Lewis this morning. We're in that flag pattern. Um, and, oh, actually, let me pause this for a second. So I'm in that flag pattern, and I'm in this In God We Trust system as Federal Reserve portrait. Um, and as I was walking, um, now, just keep in mind, I was at Purchase, New York, just recently. I documented that. And then I went to the death of a man by the name of York. And this morning, there was this. It said, "Pray for me." And it reads, "Dear God, please help the older gentleman who requested this prayer, a kind, good, and a kind and good man who is going through depression, anxiety, and hopelessness. Please help him get of this bad mental state to maybe see the light and take care of himself. Please help him feel healthy and feel peace and not to suffer. Help him gain strength and balance." He put it actually on what looks like a business card, and he handed it to my father. My father then handed him a card in good faith. And they spoke, and then I added a potential resolution to one of the things that he had mentioned, just as a suggestion. And then we walked back home. As we walked back home, there are some, I don't know what nation the man around the lake, I wasn't questioning his nationality, but as I walked back with the vans or buses of migrants coming in, there's a certain population inhabiting something called an anchor inn inside of Bayside. I don't know who they are. I don't know what nation they are from. I don't know what nation state they are from. Again, they look like non-resident aliens. And then outside, there was a big black taxi cab, a Cadillac, not a Chevrolet. So I took a quick photo of the license plate of the TNC company or TLC company, just for my edification and family safety in my own district, zone, and neighborhood. And that's inside this federal note portrait system with the United States of America, and with that flag. And I'm going to put that up on my Facebook page for my own private security and safety in this area, since I don't have access to a chain of command that I would think I would need, not knowing why. So I don't recognize the nationals that were outside. They were giving haircuts in the street and then sweeping up off the sidewalk and then going into this Anchor hotel, but they were out on the sidewalk doing these whatevers. And then there's this black SUV, but a Cadillac, not a Chevrolet or not a Chevy. Just so the Red Cross is crystal clear on, I don't know any of these people. I don't know any of these, but these are the ties around and what, witnessing and not knowing, but my personal safety. Again, so we went around the lake, and then we met with that man, and then on our way home, outside the Anchor Inn, there's this situation going on. So that happened. So I'm just making a note for my own personal reference of what is going on at this time. Not only, again, I visited the American Armor in the Round Swamp. I went to American Air Power. I know at museum level of public education what the expectation and guideline are when speaking on the history and the leadership and management of this area, and knowing that they exist, not knowing necessarily how to reach out to them directly, but making sure that when I make these messages, that like the almighty American power knows exactly what's going on in my neighborhood and what I'm visually seeing, and how and what the experience is in human experience, with the way other levels of management or whatever is doing somewhere in the system. Um, I should also mention at this time I have a lump that none of the healthcare workers have helped me with in any way. I also have other like fatty tumors growing inside of other areas of my body. Again, they talk of the particles in the air, I and the carcinogens and the dioxins, and these are more recent things that I've documented. They don't teach in local museums. So again, I'm just trying to establish guideline and baseline for my functioning American government and federal level government, and then what's going on with this multinationals. At times, it looks like something I've heard referred to in science called replacement theory, which seems to be like, I would have to think that my government and my federal system at the Federal Reserve and the US Treasury, they would put in specifically a non-compete clause with the nationals that travel in and out of this territory, with the American power. So again, I'm not quite sure where corporate security and global security and federal security, where exactly the minutes and the hours are off on degrees of certainty, but I'm definitely looking for my anchors of reality that were laid forth by the American powers that be. Um, so it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. In its Bayside station, Bayside, New York, 11361.